Hello everyone. Welcome to my Amonkhet set review. This is going to be a like a 12-day series, I believe. And the reason for that is I want to take one day for each color. And so obviously there's 5 colors in Magic. 5 times 2, because there are going to be 2 sets that I'm covering, is going to take 10 different days. And I think I'm going to spend one day on multicolored, artifact, and land. So it's going to be a 12-day series, and yeah, welcome to day 1. I've got a pretty intense series of cards for my first ones to review. 2 meta-defining cards, being Approach and Anointed, and a Mythic as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So, Angel of Sanctions, 3 and 2 white. When Angel of Sanctions enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-land permanent, so it could be a Planeswalker until Angel of Sanctions leaves the battlefield. Embalm as well, really good mechanic. For those of you that have not played Amonkhet, you can exile this from your graveyard and create a token, bring it back, and then you would get another non-land permanent. I know you were complaining that, not complaining, I'm sorry, comparing this to Trapjaw Tyrant, Shardot. And yeah, I think it's better. The fact that you can hit Planeswalkers with it sounds pretty sweet to me. And not just Planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments. Trapjaw can't hit any of that. And the fact that it has Embalm, so you can always get it back, even if they kill it. I think this card's pretty good. It's not going to be something that I spend a Mythic wild card on. I think that would be. I think there's better Mythics that I'm going to be choosing, and you know, you can only go for so many amount of cards, and it's not top tier Mythic. That's what I'm trying to say. It's still really good. I'd be happy if I drew one, that's for sure. And I think you need a way to protect it. That's the problem. If you think about it, if you think about it against Merfolk, I think it can do a decent job against Merfolk. Dinosaurs, it might just get stomped. I don't know. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I would definitely play around with it if I had more. Now here's another card that is really fun to play with. I've had many decks in duels, as have many others playing around with Anointed Procession. And I don't know how much better it's going to be in Arena than it was in Duels, because in Duels we had a lot of token makers already in place, whereas in Arena there's not really a tokens deck other than Merfolk, I guess. But would you really want to splash this in Merfolk? I don't think so. I mean, I guess there's vampires. Like, you could have Legion's Landing make 2 vampires per turn. Maybe that's a deck you could go for. I hadn't considered that one. Are you fast enough? There's going to be aggressive decks with Hazarets that are certainly going to lay the beat down on you if you go for such a deck. But if you're doing it, you could live the dream and just get those 2 lifelinkers per turn. But I don't know. The problem with that line, and I'm going to go to Rivals of Ixalan real quick, is that there is a card called Radiant Destiny, and I feel like Anointed Procession would compete with Radiant Destiny, because then you'd be running so many enchantments. You'd have your first fort, you'd have your Anointed Procession, and you'd have your Radiant Destiny. And the other deck that this would go in, so if it's not going in vampires, it would be in an Embalm deck with Angel of Sanctions, and that could be fun. Like, imagine getting an Angel of Sanctions back and taking out 2 permanents. Oh my goodness. That could be a deck right here, in fact. Just these 2 cards. Um, so I won't count the card out. I don't think it's going to have the same strength that it necessarily does in Standard. Um, but I don't think it's going to be... I don't know if it's going to be meta breaking or not. I kind of don't think it is, just because we don't have as many token makers as we would like, unfortunately. Alright. Anointer Priest. 1 and 1 white. Whenever a creature token enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life, and it has Embalm for 4. Well, this would fit right into the Anointed Procession deck. And you'd probably throw the Angel of Sanction. Like, these first 3 cards, ironically enough, all probably go in the same deck. And Sacred Cat, as we're going to go up to a card called Sacred Cat that probably also goes in this deck. I'm just not sure if we have enough for it, though. Can you make a deck that's just built around Embalm as a mechanic? I don't know, because I never played Amonkhet Limited, you know? I never dove into just that set with all the cards unlocked. I guess there's Eternalize too, so don't count Hour of Devastation out. And that would help with Anointed Procession. I think you can make a deck with it. I think you can make a deck that is decent, but would it be tier 1 or competitive? Probably not, but that's okay, because you're having fun, right? Yeah, I'm always going to be a fan of Anointer Priest, as long as Anointed Procession is a thing. So I'm sure I'm going to be playing around with all 3 of these cards, should I be able to draw them. Hello, Ninjo. Hello, Skudik. What's going on? Doing a set review, in case you came in a little late. I'm going to be reviewing both Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation over a 12-day span, as they have made it clear that they want to include Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation in Arena in the near future. So to sort of prep for that, I'm actually doing a set review that's going to take place over the next 12 days, including this one. And today we're doing white Amonkhet. Tomorrow we will be doing blue, and as you can see, black, red, and the list goes on. There's a token deck which was successful in Memphis. I think it's based around those cards and cats. You'd have to show me that list. Check it out. Okay. Approach of the Second Sun. 6 and 1 white. If Approach of the Second Sun was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put Approach of the Second Sun into its owner's library, 7th from the top, and you gain 7 life. So, this card is a... what would you call it? This card builds decks. You know, decks are built around Approach of the Second Sun. And I don't think it's going to be any different in Arena. I think that Sanguine Sacrament as a card is going to be stopped being played over time in favor of Approach, because it does the same thing, but it's not as grindy. And it might even be better, because I feel like Sanguine Sacrament, there's ways to beat that pretty easily if you just have the counterspell once their deck is empty. Whereas this you need to counter multiple approaches. Like, I know there's a lot of decks that like to just run 4 approaches, and you gotta have all your counterspells ready, rather than just one counterspell for a Sanguine Sacrament. Apart from all the Artifact and Fatal Push, obviously we would have all the cards in Ixalan and AKH blocks. Maybe. Well, no, you're right, we will. Because we might not be able to play with Rampaging Ferocidon in the near future, and I'm not saying we won't be able to, I'm just saying we might not be able to, doesn't mean we can't unlock it, and I think that's been something that's clear. So I think we're going to be able to unlock, what was that desert? Reminop Ruins. I think we will be able to unlock it. The question is whether or not we'll be able to play with it. Okay, yeah, Approach. There's going to be decks around this. I think it's going to replace Sanguine Sacrament. I'm going to check out your list later, Skudik. I am trying to go hard on this set review thing right this very moment. But after the stream, I'll definitely go back to the VOD and check out your comment and check out the deck. But for right now, I just want to focus on this set review, and maybe I can talk to you about it tomorrow, and I'll let you know my thoughts. Aven Mind Sensor, flash flying. If an opponent would search a library, that player searches the top 4 cards of that library instead. That's interesting. I wonder how much this card is worth. I just gotta see. Aven Mind Sensor TCG. $0.76. I remember when this card first came around. I'm sorry. I keep going to the wrong tab because I like to have Rivals of Ixalan and Hour of Dev open in the background, just in case I want to reference other cards, like I referenced Radiant Destiny earlier. But even Mind Sensor, yeah, I remember a lot of people were talking about this card, and I kind of feel like no one's really talking about it anymore. I don't follow Standard to a T, so I could be wrong in some of the things that I say, but I don't know if I like this card. Maybe you could run it in a blue-white Flyers deck, but it's still a kind of a small body. Like, I feel like I'd rather have King Jolly Sunwing than I'd rather have Aven Mind Sensor. Searching decks isn't that prominent. Like, I know there's Mastermind's Acquisition as a card, and that's a cool thing and all, but I don't think you run into that too often, and the best that I could hope for this would be like messing up an Evolving Wild sack, I guess, which would be fun, but I don't think it's going to be a card that I'm going to play around with particularly much. Okay, Binding Mummy, 1 in 1 white. Whenever a zombie ETBs, you may tap target artifact or creature. Remember, you can tap artifacts with this, and I know we don't face vehicles as much in this format, but many a times on duels I've tapped down Smuggler's Copter with like flash speed zombies, and there's actually flash speed zombies. There's a cycle card that we're gonna get to later, and believe it or not, I actually beat Shardot once by by cycling a card that creates a zombie that taps down an attacker. I'm sorry if I'm bringing back painful memories, or if you've forgotten the game entirely. I'm surprised that I still remember it, but yeah, in Arena specifically, I don't think this card's going to be good because I don't think zombies are going to be good. Part of what made zombies so strong, I think, was having access to Shadows over Innistrad and Eldritch Moon cards, which zombies was a very tribal theme there, and the fact that those sets are not in Arena is just going to mean that zombies are going to be a lot weaker. I think we will still have access to a card later on that I'm going to talk about, called Lord of the Accursed. So I could be wrong when I say zombies are going to be awful, but they're definitely losing a lot of power from Shadows over Innistrad and Eldritch Moon. I don't think I'm gonna build a zombie deck. I just feel like they're just kind of meh right now, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong many a times before. If you watched my set review with Monk, there's definitely a lot of takes that I disagree with now that I've played with the Rival of Ixalan cards. Okay, Cartouche of Solidarity, 1 white. Enchant creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white warrior token with vigilance. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has first strike. It's interesting. You could make it work with Anointed Procession, but I'm not sure how much I like that because in duels we have access to both Anointed Procession and Cartouche of Solidarity, and let me tell you, I never put two of them into the same deck. So I don't think that Splash is actually any good. There was a deck at GP Memphis that I briefly looked over, where it was a Aura deck that ran it ran Cartouche of Solidarity, and it ran, let's see if I can find the card. It ran another Aura called Curious Obsession. And so maybe we'll be able to build that kind of deck where we put a bunch of auras on an indestructible creature such as Adanto Vanguard, and then just attack a bunch of times, draw a bunch of cards. He'll have first strike. I think that's the kind of deck you're looking for with Cartouche of Solidarity. Whether or not it'll be good is a different question. I would like to try it. Career Obsession, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it works as well, because there was a deck that, I don't know if it made top 32 or not, but it was a blue-white Aura deck from Memphis that featured both of those cards and Adanto Vanguard, and I think it has potential. I'm not going to write that deck out because I haven't really seen it, to be honest, and I don't know. I just don't know because I haven't seen it, I haven't played it, you know. But it's definitely something interesting and something to look out for in the future, and I am not going to write off Cartouche of Solidarity as a bad card for that reason. Cast Out. 3 and a white, enchantment, flash. When cast out, enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until cast out leaves the battlefield, and it has cycling. I'm a big fan of this card on duels. The fact that you can fix your mana by cycling it early, or just take out a Planeswalker until this card gets hit by a Rexage, as it normally happens, it's still really good. The problem is we have access to a card called Ixalan's Binding right now, which I feel like might just outperform Cast Out. And yeah, I don't know. I'd rather be running Ixalan's Binding than Cast Out. I know Cast Out has Flash and Ixalan's Binding doesn't, and Cast Out has Cycling, so there's definitely pros to Cast Out, but at the same time, Binding can just really tear a deck down. I expect that Cast Out will see play over Ixalan's Binding in the blue-white Cyclings deck. Shoutout says Flash is very good. I agree. In a general deck, I think I like Binding more, but if you're talking blue-white Cycling, you've seen decks play both. Yeah. I feel like that could be awkward, because they're both 4-drops, and I don't know. I guess it must be a control deck that you've seen that plays both, because you want to neuter down their entire board and then play a win con. But yeah, I do want to play around with this in Cycling. I think the Cycling deck will be awesome. I'm not sure if I'm going to play both in other decks. I probably won't even unlock the card because there's going to be 4 sets, and it's just going to be impossible to unlock 4 sets worth of cards from scratch with the economy as it is. But that's kind of a rant for another time. I don't want to let my current feelings about that dilute the experience of this set review. So I'll try to stay away from that topic for the time being. But let's just assume from now on that I'm going to own every card in the game, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to play around with this, even though I might not own it. I'll just say that I am. But yeah, if I do get some cast outs, I'll definitely run that Cycling deck for sure. You don't want too many one-of kind of enchantments when opponents can just Ixalan's Binding it. Yeah, I don't know. Here's another enchantment, by the way. Compulsory Rest. 1 and a white. Enchanted creature cannot attack or block. Enchanted creature has tap 2, sacrifice this creature, you gain 2 life. I don't think this card is awful. the question is it better than Baffling End? And that's a tough question to answer because on the one hand, Baffling End can completely take out a card and you'll never see it cast against you. That card that it took out, unless they have a second copy, of course. Whereas Compulsory Rest, they can just destroy the enchantment and get their card back, or they can sack it and gain 2 life. But at the same time, it can deal with bigger cards. I can deal with almost anything and just enchant something, and it's out of the playing field, you know? I think it could be a sideboard card just because enchantment hate might be a thing right about now, because there's a lot of good enchantments that flip. So I think Compulsory Rest might just be sideboard material, and if you're not facing a deck that has enchantment hate, you throw, like 3 or 4 of these in, and you just start locking down whatever you're facing. That's my take on it. I could be wrong. I'm not really sure. It depends how enchantment hate heavy the format is once Amonkhet and Hour of Dev come, which I think it might be a little bit just because of the flip lands, the flip enchantments, like I said. Devoted Cropmate. 2 and a white. You may exert Devoted Cropmate as it attacks. When you do, return target creature card with CMC 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it's a 3/2. I liked this card a lot in duels, but I think part of the reason I liked this card in duels is because Humans was a pretty sweet thing. Humans was definitely a sweet tribal, and I don't know if we have that as much here. Because this guy is a human, but at the same time, he doesn't just return humans, he returns creatures. So it's not like you just have to build a humans tribal deck. And going back to humans, we actually could build a humans tribal deck because of... Oh, wrong set. No, that is the right set. I got confused when I saw Legion Conquistador. Radiant Destiny. We actually could build a humans deck. The question is, would that even be good at this point in time? I'm kind of leaning on no. I'm kind of leaning on humans as not being tribal enough at the current time. But then again, like I said, you can run your Radiant Destinies and maybe make it work. The thing with duels is we had a lot of good 1-drop and 2-drop humans where you could build a human tribal deck, and Devoted Cropmate would fit in quite well. And I don't know. He could go in Boros as well. Like, I know there's a lot of cheap red cards that would love Devoted Cropmate to bring him back. I'm going to be talking about a card later on called On-Crop Crasher. Not this stream, but in another stream. Which might just outperform this card. I saw limited use with it in duels. I wouldn't say that I went crazy with Devoted Cropmate, but normally when I played those white human tribal decks, I would include at least 1 or 2 of these and ride small cantrips, getting creatures back. One problem with Devoted Cropmate, there's a card from Shadows over Innistrad, or maybe it's Eldritch Moon, where when it enters the battlefield, it puts +1 counters on all of the creatures, all of the humans you control. I believe it's called Thalia's Lieutenant. And you can't go for that kind of deck here because that's not an arena. You couldn't just get Thalia's Lieutenant back and buff all of your humans, and that was a big part of the humans deck in duels that this cannot take advantage of. So I think Devoted Cropmate, it's probably not going to be a good card. That's just my thoughts right now. But yeah. Jeru's Resolve. 1 white, instant, untap target creature, prevent all damage that would be dealt to it this turn. Cycling 2. I don't think this is good. There's a lot of removal, such as Moment of Craving and Vraska's Contempt and Golden Demise. And there's a lot of destroy removal as well, which would not prevent all damage because it would just get destroyed. I don't think this card is good. There's a card in Ixalan that gives target creature indestructible and lets you scry one, which I think is better than this card, and even that card is awful. So not gonna be playing around with Shadow's Resolve. This is the worst card I think I've seen thus far. All of these other ones have been okay. Alright. Fanbearer, 1 white, tap 2, and then tap itself, tap target creature. That's a lot of tap. Tap 2, tap itself, tap target creature. And it's a 1/2. I like the fact that this card is a 1/2 because for 1 mana, it could just be a 1/1, you know? So it doesn't just die to Forerunners pinging it as easily. There's still ways for Forerunner to just wreck this card. And I'm talking about Forerunner of the Empire, by the way, not one of the other Forerunners. So this would go in the zombie deck, right? We would have our Binding Mummies, and we'd have our Fanbearers. I don't remember playing around with this card too much. I think when I used to play around with this deck in duels, I would just run Binding Mummy and exclude Fanbearer, because they kind of do the same thing. And I guess you can argue that Binding Mummy is a little better because it can tap artifacts, which is important even in Arena, because there's artifacts that can tap for mana. Damn, doing a set review? Good luck, man. You can do it. Thanks, Shaolin. I want to preface this set review that I am only doing it 1 color at a time. So, Amonkhet, I'm only going to be talking about white today. Tomorrow I will be talking about blue, because I believe that's the next color in order. Not going to be talking about any of the masterpieces. I'm sorry if that's what you came here for. I know Monk loves his masterpieces. I don't know if you love your masterpieces. I'm just joking around. But yeah, I'm going to be doing over a 12-day period. The first 5 days will be white, blue, black, red, green. Day 6 will be multicolored, artifact, and land. And then on day 7, I will start Rivals of Ixalan and sort of repeat the process. Or I'm sorry, did I say Rivals of Ixalan? I meant Hour of Devastation. But going back to Fanbearer, as I was saying earlier, I think Binding Mummy and Fanbearer compete with each other, and one small thing that I was just saying, Binding Mummy can tap down an artifact, and even though that might seem insignificant in Arena, maybe you can tap down a mana rock, you know? Probably not going to happen, but just throwing ideas out there. So yeah, I think Fanbearer, as fun as it looks, I think you're probably playing Binding Mummy instead. I know Fanbearer can tap down at instant speed, whereas Binding Mummy generally taps down at sorcery speed. But at the same time, Binding Mummy, there's cycling cards that you can play, where you cycle a card that creates a zombie, and then the zombie taps down a creature. So you can actually tap stuff down at instant speed. There's a card later on with cycling that creates 3 zombies, and if you cycle it, it creates 1 zombie, but that zombie would, come in at flash speed, so. Alright, Forsake the Worldly? Man, the Worldly. I'm not very wordy today. Forsake the Worldly, 2 and a white. Instant, exile target artifact or enchantment, cycling 2. I don't know. I'm not sure. I know you get to cycle it, but it's 3 mana. But why would I run that over... Let's see if I can find the card. I hope it's an Ixalan. There's a 1 and a green spell. I guess it would be a different color. But forgive me for forgetting this card. I almost never cast it because it's kind of a niche card. And it could be in another set, but there's definitely a card for 1 and a green. That... It's like a picture of a dinosaur, and it destroys target artifact or enchantment for 2 mana. I know it's a different color than white, so maybe you still run Forsake the Worldly. You can cycle it too. You know what this card would go good in? It would go good in the blue-white cycling deck, right? As just sort of an answer. Naturalize, Shaolin's on it, yeah. But yeah, I guess Forsake the Worldly, you would run this in cycling. And the reason why is because you can just make a Drake with it, if nothing else. And if it's good, great. You get to take out, something awesome with Forsake the Worldly. So the more I look at this card, I know I dismissed it at first, but the more I think about it, I'm actually kind of growing on this card. I could easily see for Drake Havens just take full advantage of all the cycling cards, Forsake the Worldly being one of them. And that's true, Shaolin. It is a exile. I didn't notice that. Whereas Naturalize just destroys the artifact or enchantment, this actually exiles it. So, man, I when I first looked at this card, I was here. Now I'm like here. It's like, wow. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this card. The more we look at it, blue-white cycling. That is something that is gonna be fun. I remember when we were playing in duels, there was a brief week or two span where both CGB, Shaolin, and myself were trying cycling decks, and all of them sucked. Every single one of those cycling decks that all three of us built, they sucked ass. And it's gonna be amazing having a cycling deck that is gonna be really good and competitive. And I'm sorry if you liked your deck, Shaolin. I don't mean to talk shit, but I'm just being real. I don't think cycling was very good in duels. I'm sorry, man. But yeah, I think in Arena we're gonna have much stronger cycling. That's for sure. And Forsake the Worldly is gonna be a centerpiece in it. It does make me curious, looking at this card, if the blue-white cycling decks use this. I haven't actually looked at them very thoroughly. I'd like to look at some lists and just see if anything from Memphis, for example, ran Forsake the Worldly. Okay, Gideon of the Trials. 1 and 2 white, +1, prevent all damage, target permanent would deal. Shaolin says, I don't think so. Maybe they ran it sideboard. Okay. Yeah, I really don't know. Because I haven't looked at those decks closely enough. Anyway, Gideon 0 turns him into a 4/4 with Indestructible. And his emblem prevents you from losing the game. I'm pretty excited for this card. The fact about his ultimate, it's mainly his ultimate, is why I'm excited for this game. And it's because there's a card called Approach the Second Sun. That's why I'm excited for it. You throw your Approach of the Second Sun in your deck. You throw your Gideon of the Trials in the deck. You throw your Settle the Wreckage in the deck. You throw your Slaughter the Strong in the deck. I think you're going to have something pretty fun. And not being able to lose the game is really going to help, especially in the mirror match against Approach of the Second Sun. I don't think Gideon of the Trials goes in a ton of decks. I think he's pretty much just limited to Approach of the Second Sun and maybe sideboard for a couple other decks that don't want to lose to Approach of the Second Sun or don't want to lose to Sanguine Sacrament. But I don't know. I think Gideon's going to do a great job in the decks that he thrives in. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for him. If nothing else, he'll be a 4/4 body that you can use, so he's just not bad. His other abilities are still decent. One thing that's pretty cool about him is that he can lock down the enchantment from Ixalan. I forgot what the enchantment is called, but it's a red enchantment that flips. So let's go to the double face cards. Vance's Blasting Cannons. You could actually, Gideon of the Trials, lock down this, which would be awesome, right? Oh my god, would that work? Prevent all damage. Target permanent would deal. See that? I really want to get into that board state one day. Anyway, moving on. Gideon gets the pass from me. Gideon's Intervention. We're still on the Gideon train, clearly. 2 and 2 white. Enchantment. As Gideon's Intervention enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Your opponent can't cast spells with the chosen name. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and permanents you control by sources of the chosen name. So why is this card better than Ixalan's Binding? Hmm. Because the thing is, if they destroy the enchantment, like they can still do just fine. Like, say I played Gideon's Intervention and I hit Approach of the Second Sun, because that's the deck that I was facing. I guess, like, they can still destroy the enchantment. I guess this would be good for Sanguine Sacrament, right? You could cast Gideon's Intervention and target an instant or sorcery. That's one thing that Ixalan's Binding can't do. But at the same time, I know it has that pro to it, but I don't know if I like it. I think Ixalan Binding might just generally outperform this card. Unless you guys can, give me some board states where Gideon's Intervention is like way better than Ixalan's Binding, and I know I named a couple of example ones. I can't see this card beating Binding. Because Binding locks down. Hang on. I guess this locks down everything too, but I don't know. Maybe it's better. Would this card be better than Binding? Because it prevents damage. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. Like, for example, say they have 2 Phoenixes out, and I cast Ixalan's Binding. They can still attack me with the remaining Phoenix. Whereas if I cast Gideon's Intervention, then I name Phoenix, and Phoenix doesn't damage me. It would still be able to chump block, but it still wouldn't in the Ixalan's Binding case. I'm really up in the air about this card. I don't know which is better, Ixalan's Binding or Gideon's Intervention. I believe Ixalan's Binding is 3 and a white, whereas this is 2 and 2 white, which makes it a little more taxing on a mana base. So say if you were running a 3-color deck, maybe you would just run Binding instead. But on a power-to-power basis, if you just take these cards at face value and tell me which one is better, I don't think I can give you a good answer, because just looking at them both, they're very similar, and I don't know. It's really a tough call for me. But if one of you guys have anything to say, I would like to hear it, because I'm not sure what side of the fence I'm leaning on as far as whether I like this more or Binding more. And yeah, I just can't come up with anything. Falling short. So I am going to move on to Glorybound Initiate. 1 and a white. You may exert him, and if you do, he gets +1/+3 and gains lifelink until end of turn. He's a 3/1. This card was amazing in duels, and I think he's going to be amazing in Arena. One reason for that is that we have a card called Adanto Vanguard that functions very similarly to Glorybound Initiate, but now you get to feel less pressured with spending 4 life, because Glorybound Initiate can just gain you 4 life. Not only that, look at this. Look at this. Radiant Destiny. Creatures you control. It doesn't freaking work. Damn it. Creatures you control of the chosen type. Damn it. I was so excited. Oh my god. I thought I found something genius with I thought I found a genius combination of Glorybound Initiate, Adanto Vanguard, and Radiant Destiny, but you have to name a creature type. That's so sad. Okay, so that's not going to be as fun as I wanted it to be. I still think this card is good. I really wish that worked the way I wanted it to. Gotta go Immortal Sun. It's the Vigilance that I want, Shaolin. Because if I have Vigilance, then I can exert Glorybound Initiate, and I can lifelink it every single turn. That's what I'm bummed out about by Radiant Destiny. And before Ninja starts playing Arcane Adaptation, you're tempting me, Shard. You really are. I really want to get that combo to work. That Vigilance is so important on this Glorybound Initiate deck, and I guess you could name Human. That's not bad, right? You name human, and you put Glorybound Initiate. You just accept the fact that Adanto Vanguard's not going to be as big as you'd like, and then you play Devoted Crop Make, and this goes back to the human deck that I was talking about. Maybe it's a thing. I'm not saying it is. I could be totally wrong here, but that could be a deck. Glorybound Initiate. Ah, man, I really hope it is. Just drop that Radiant Destiny on him. That'd be fun. We'll see. We'll keep an eye out. I'm going to keep an eye out on the rest of these white humans because I want to build that deck as it stands right now. Anointer Priest, you're probably not going to go in it. I know you're a human, but come on. Let's be serious. It could. It gains life. Adanto Vanguard needs you to gain life. But yeah, I'm definitely going to keep an eye out on humans. Human Wizard! Human! Alright, Gustwalker. 1 and a white. You may exert Gustwalker as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1 and gains flying until end of turn. I don't know if this is going to go in my human deck. It's not awful, but it feels very underwhelming when Merfolk are just beating you down or dinosaurs are beating you down. I don't think I'm going to run Gustwalker. You don't make the human deck. I'm sorry. Alright, let's move on to Impeccable Timing. 1 and a white. Deals 3 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. I think there's better answers than this, and I don't really feel like talking about it other than the fact that the artwork for it looks awesome. Like, look at that person holding a spear, about to throw it into that Minotaur. To a trained warrior, there is scarcely a more potent weapon than patience. I love that, dude. As much shit as I talk about this card, this is probably my favorite flavor card from Amonkhet that I've seen thus far. Really, really cool. In Oketra's name, zombies you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Other creatures get +1, and it's an instant. Don't think I'm going to run this card. I think that... I don't know, I just think that it's bad. Unless zombies are amazing. But here's the thing. Even in my duels zombies decks, I didn't run in Oketra's name. Unless I was running like a jankier version of it, I never did that. So I don't think it's good. Dang, it's so close. What's so close? Shardat. What's so close? You gotta specify for me. Glorybound Initiate is a warrior, and Adanto Vanguard is a soldier. That sucks. Man, I'm still gonna try and make that deck. By the way, Shaolin, you missed what I said earlier, but I'm assuming that I'm gonna have every card in the game, even though I know I clearly won't, and I just don't want to frame it that way for the purposes of this stream, because I don't want to be so negative and stuff. So we're just pretending that I have access to every single card in Amonkhet, Hour of Dev, Ixalan, and Rivals of Ixalan. So I'm totally gonna play around with humans, and it's gonna be awesome. Mighty Leap. 1 and a white. Instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. I don't think so. There's too many of these little pump spells that I just don't care about, and this is another one of them. Oketra the True. 3 and a white. Double strike. Indestructible. Oketra the True can't attack or block unless you control at least 3 other creatures. 3 and a white. Create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. Hey, it's a warrior, Shardat. I can name warrior, which is actually kind of a thing. That's kind of funny. I could make a warrior deck. because this doesn't make a human. It only makes a warrior. So I would have to name warrior with Radiant Destiny. I don't think that's a deck, though. It's probably not a deck, right? But yeah, Oketra, I don't think she's good. Has she seen play? Did she see any play in Memphis in any of those token decks? I don't think so. I know there's always the argument where you can run Anointed Procession, and you can run Oketra. Is it a good argument though? Is it? Is it really? Maybe. I'm not gonna say this card's awful. Like, I wouldn't hate anyone for playing it against me. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. How easy is it to have 3 other creatures and to just continuously bust out tokens and gain tons of life from your Anointer Priests? How easy is it to do that? I don't know. Ketra's Attendant. 3 and 2 white. Flying, cycling 2, and Embalm. Does this card go in the cycling deck? You like a Ketra, Shaolin? I knew you would like a Ketra. And I know that because we had a sideboard Saturday where you ran Oketra and stomped me with her. So I'm not gonna say she's bad. I'm not one of those people. I'm just not gonna say she's amazing either. I'm sort of just in the middle with her. Because in that sideboard Saturday, you had an Oketra, and I was using Bant, some sort of Bant flashy deck, and Oketra didn't care. She just made all the tokens that she felt like. Bant, no problem. And in that game, Oketra did a lot of work. So, you're right, I don't think she's a bad card. Is she going to be meta breaking? Probably not. Is she going to be fun? Yes. She's going to be fun. I will concede that she will be a very fun card to play with. But okay, Oketra's Attendant, going back to that. You can cycle it. It has Embalm. Probably goes pretty well in the blue-white cycling deck. I can definitely see this being a card you run for that. So, you think she's good in blue-white cycling, or are you talking about something else? Oh, there's a black-white token deck in Standard right now. She's good there. Huh. Is she being played in it? I am curious. Like, if there's people playing with her, I want to know about it, because I'll tell you, I can get behind defending Oketra if she's like really good. But yeah, I don't really know. I'd have to look at the deck lists. Don't think people are playing her. Feel sad, man. It's probably, I wonder why they don't play her. Why do they not play Oketra? Is it because of fumigates and board wipes that just keep her as a tiny creature, or is it because of Vraska's contempts that kill her? Or what? Like, why doesn't she see play? I don't know. Okay, Protection of the Heckma. 4 and a white. Enchantment. If a source an opponent controls would deal damage to you, prevent one of that damage. Wow. This card is so good. If you were at 10 life and an Ulamog attacked you, you wouldn't die. You'd be at 1. Oh man. Protection of the Heckma. Whew, man, I feel so safe inside this Heckma, man. Whew. Meta breaking. If you can't see the sarcasm, I am being sarcastic. This is one of the worst cards that I've seen of white thus far. I do not like it. And I'll just leave it at that. I'm trying not to trash on cards too much. But Protection of the Heckma, I don't feel like the Heckma is going to protect me very much. Regal Carousel. 3 and 2 white. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. When Regal Carousel enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 cat creature tokens with lifelink. You know what they need to do with Oketra? They need to make her a cat god. You can't just be a god, you gotta be a cat god, because then you have lifelink. Imagine, she even has the cat face! Like, why are you not a cat god? Come on, Oketra. Come on, get with the times! You're the same people in your color that like work for you and whatnot, your Regal Carousels, they're trying to help you out here. They're trying to help you out. Just be a cat. Be a cat. Get your lifelink going. Come on, Oketra. Get with the times. Rant over. Okay. Regal Carousel. Man, I'm actually mad. I'm actually mad that Oketra isn't a cat. Like, what the hell, Oketra? Are you serious? Ugh. I gotta stop working myself up, because I'm actually getting myself angry about that. I'm actually mad that you're not a cat, Oketra. What can I say? Come on. Come on, be a cat. You've worked yourself up. I did! I did. I want to make my Okektra, Regal Carousel, Radiant Destiny, Anointed Procession deck. And honestly, I think Anointed Procession, like going back to being more serious, I think Anointed Procession and Regal Carousel is going to be a thing. Also, Angel of Invention, that's not a card that we can play with. So I think we're going to be playing with a lot more cats instead. And Regal Carousel is one of them. Sacred Kitty is one of them. Okektra the True is not one of them. Thank you, Okektra. But yeah, maybe we can make this cat tribal deck with Anointed Procession. Doesn't that sound fun? Doesn't that sound fun? Having 4 Sacred Kitties, 4 Okektras because they're totally cats, 4 Regal Carousels, 4 Anointed Processions. Ugh. Protection of the Heckma plus a Johnny Steadfast emblem. Okay, I gotta do something for Shard. A Johnny, because I don't know what this card is. A Johnny Steadfast. Who are we talking about? You get an emblem with if a source. Oh god. Oh god, Shard. You know, I'm kind of mad at you, Shard. I was hoping this emblem would turn all creatures into cats. That's what I thought you were talking about when you said that comment. I was like, oh, sweet, I can finally make everything a cat with his emblem. But no, he just has some emblem that prevents damage. That's lame. I want cats, man. Ugh. See, here's a cat. Sacred Kitty. We're going to be talking about you later. It would be funnier if they were dogs. Dogs are better than cats. Dogs smell. Dogs poop on the floor. Dogs pee on the floor. Cats have a litter box. I don't know, man. I'm not quite sold on the dogs are better than cats argument. Do dogs have lions roaming the savannah and tigers lurking in the jungle? Do dogs have that, Shaolin? I don't think they do. I think they just have tiny little wolves that hunt in packs. And I know you're going to get into the whole, oh, the wolves hunt in packs. They work together. They use teamwork. Come on, man. We got lions. There's a Kappa, and I mentioned Protection of the Heckma as well. I had my hopes, Shard. You've disappointed me with with not finding an Ajani that has a cat-making emblem. Okay. I am getting so derailed by cats right now. I did not think that the stream would turn into this, but whatever. Damn it, Okektra. Oketra's really just a jerk. That's my verdict. I'm not saying Okektra is bad or Okektra is good. I'm not asking if she goes into standard decks. My verdict is that Okektra is just a jerk because she's not a cat. She doesn't want to be a cat, you know? Like at one point she stopped being a cat. I don't know why. She just thought she was too good to deem herself as a cat. You're a cat, Okektra. Renewed Faith. 2 and a white. Instant. You gain 6 life. Cycling 1 and a white. When you cycle Renewed Faith, you may gain 2 life. You may gain 2 life. Why would you not want to gain 2 life? Why would you not want to gain 2 life? When you may gain 2 life. I don't get it. Can someone name me a board state where you want to... Okay, I thought of it. Okay, this is the board state. Arguel's Bloodfast. If you have 5 or less life, you want to stay at 5 life so that you can transform your Arguel's Bloodfast, I guess. And then you cycle Renewed Faith and choose not to gain the 2 life. There you go. But yeah, that's kind of weird. I guess this goes in the cycling deck, probably. I don't know. There's so many cycling cards that I'm sure I'm going to need to make cuts when I try to build my cycling deck. And so I'm not sure what the final cards are going to be. But Renewed Faith sounds fun. I mean, you gain life off of it. Shaolin says Tainted Remedy. And if it, yes, see, now we're talking. Don't cycle your Renewed Faith and gain life. Now we have the option not to. I wonder if that's ever come up in duels, right? Like, I know Shaolin was running his Tainted Remedy deck. I think I gave him a challenge to run it. I wonder if there's ever been a board state that came up where someone had a Tainted Remedy and you were cycling your renewed faith, and you're like, oh crap, I can't gain life. Let's just choose not to. I don't know, man. Maybe. Stranger things have happened, that's for sure. Okay. Ret Crop Spearmaster. 2 and a white. You may exert Ret Crop Spearmaster. Oh, it's a human. It's a human, guys. Have I missed any other humans? Doesn't look like it. Okay. You may exert him as he attacks. He gets +1 and gains first strike. Wow. He's got 1 toughness, though. He's better than some of those other humans I saw, but I still think he's kind of bad. You've had games where you didn't want to gain life? Why not, Shard? Why not? Are you just too good to have a high life total? Are you facing tainted remedies? Are you trying to stay at a certain life total because of... Oh, you know what it is? It's the card that exchanges life totals. I don't even remember the name of it, but there's definitely a card from Ixalan that exchanges life totals. Blazing Hope? Wow. There's reasons that you don't want to gain life. Okay. No, I'm wrong. You guys are right. There are reasons you don't want to gain 2 life. Axis of Mortality. Yep, that's the one I was thinking of. It's crazy because you wouldn't think that on the surface, but no, you guys are right. That's crazy. Sacred Cat. If they have Tainted Remedy out, you'll lose life. Oh no. It was the original reason I turned off always use beneficial abilities in duels games. Well, I think everyone turns those off. Well, not everyone, but I think most of our crew, right? CGB, myself, Shaolin, Shard, like a lot of the viewers. I'm sure most of us are right with you, Shard. Can't remember what the cards were. I believe you, though. I believe you, Shard. After seeing all these cards get named, Axis of Mortality, Blazing Hope, Tainted Remedy, Arguel's Bloodfast, there's reasons. Sacred Cat! A cat! Look at this! A cat! I love cats! And I'm going to run 4 of these in my Anointed Procession deck that runs, you know, everything I just said. Regal Carousel, Sacred Cat. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this card, and I'm definitely going to run all 4. Yeah! Ninja Floods with cats in there. You know, that's kind of sadistic, Shaolin. You know cats can't swim. You know cats can't swim, and you're just showing drowning kittens in the ocean. Like, what is wrong with you, Shaolin? God, that is just dark. Dogs can swim. That is so cruel. Just because cat swims doesn't mean you gotta hate on him for that. That's like hating on someone for having like a disability or something. Like, that is just messed up, Shaolin. Just because cats can't swim, cats can swim. I know some cats can swim, but what about the cats that can't? You got people like Monk just hating on the cats that can't swim because they just never learned. They were never taught properly at a young age. And you got people like Monk who just are racist against cats. Screw your dogs, man. Screw them. Seraph of the Suns. 5 and 2 white. Angel. Ooh, angels now. Can we make an angel deck? What about Shaolin, who can't swim? Ooh. I feel like Shaolin can swim, though. Because that's like... Isn't that like a combat monk? If Pikachu could swim, he would just electrocute himself. And I know, like, I'm gonna get really nerdy here, and I'm sorry, but you made me get nerdy, Shaolin. This is like top tier nerd right now. Pikachu can learn surf in a Pokemon game. So Pikachu can actually swim. It doesn't make any sense because Pikachu would electrocute itself by using that stuff while it's swimming. But yeah, just had to drop some nerdy knowledge on you guys. But yeah, I don't know. Can Charmander swim though? No, Charmander cannot swim, Sharda, because clearly you haven't seen the first 10 episodes of Pokemon where Charmander is under it's like raining out, and if Charmander's fire gets extinguished, it actually dies. So how dare you ask if Charmander can swim? Do you want Charmander to die, Shardat? Have you not seen the first 10 episodes of Pokemon? Okay, you've seen them. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm ranting about Charmander now, and how Shardat wants Charmander to die, asking if it can swim. I guess you didn't want it to die. I'm putting words in your mouth. But anyway, super derailed, as always. Always derailed in this stream. Seraph of the Suns. 5 and 2 white, flying, indestructible 4/4. I think this card is a little expensive. Can I get a little expensive? Yeah, I think it's pretty rough. Charmander turned out to be a brat. Let him die. What is wrong with you? What? Charmander turns into Charizard, only the best Pokemon in existence, a fan favorite, and you just say let Charmander die? Do you realize how cute Charmander is? Do you realize how cute a Charmander? Look at how adorable that thing is, Shardat. Shardat wants this to die. Shardat wants this adorable little creature to die. No, don't change the title. I promise. I'll go back to Amonkhet. All right. Seraph of the Suns. This is like my 4th time reviewing it. It's your fault. I blame you, Shardat. I'm not the one derailing this stream. It's totally not my fault. Seraph of the Suns. It's probably pretty slow. It is slow. It's a 7 drop. The one redeeming quality about Seraph of the Suns status Pokemon death discussion. I'm glad that you can't change my titles, Shardat. I don't want my stream to be called Pokemon death discussion. Seraph of the Suns. It can block Rekindling Phoenix. It can do that. That's not bad. At the same time, it's just super janky. It's a super janky 7 drop 4/4 vanilla with indestructible. It's just gonna eat. Actually, why would you run this over Zakama? Right? Just spend one more mana and get a Zakama out there. This card's garbage. Just play Zakama. Yeah, I thought it was maybe okay until I thought of Zakama, but Zakama is just so much better than this card. It has flying, indestructible, double strike, vigilance. You pay 1 more mana and you get a 4/8. I wouldn't have done that if I didn't know it was turned off. Fair enough, Shard. Okay. Sparring Mummy. 3 and a white. When Sparring Mummy enters the battlefield, untap target creature. I'm not going to play that. I think we can all agree that Sparring Mummy is not a good card. Supply Caravan, 4 and a white. When it enters the battlefield, if you control a tapped creature, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. By the way, Shaolin was talking about how this is an MTG stream. He's the one that brought that Pikachu emote in the chat. Just saying, Shaolin. That's why it turned into a Pokemon stream for a bit. You're at fault, man. It's never my fault. Never blame me for anything. And before Sparring Mummy turns out to be an Infinity Engine. Oh my goodness. Okay. Supply Caravan, 4 and a white. ETB. If you control a tapped creature, that's such a weird requirement. Create a 1/1 white warrior. Yeah, this is just a draft card. I think we can agree that maybe we'll play this in draft, but that's about it. Ta Crop Elite. 3 and a white bird warrior. It's not a human. I want some more humans, and I want more humans and cats. If we can get more humans and cats, then life is great. But this is just a bird warrior. And when you exert said bird warrior, the bird warrior gives all other bird warriors. I don't know why I'm saying bird warrior so much. It gives all other creatures you control +1/+1 until end of turn. Stupid bird warriors. Those who serve, it's just 2/4. Generic. No need to talk about that. Time to reflect. 1 white, instant. Exile target creature that blocked or was blocked by a zombie this turn. I've always been somewhat high with this card. I know it gets a lot of hate. Some people might even call it a trap. I had Takrop Elite in my Steam Showdown deck. I thought you might, Shard. I actually did. In the back of my mind, I was thinking about your Exert deck, because I know I've seen you play that against me, and I think I saw you in a live stream play it once. Obviously, you weren't the one streaming, but maybe it was against Monk or something. I can't quite remember, but I remember your Exert deck, and I remember it had Takrop Elite in it. I guess if you want to make an Exert deck, here you go. Yeah. Time to reflect. I think this card gets a little too much hate, and I could be wrong because I haven't playtested with it enough. You can exile any card that's blocked or was blocked, that blocked or was blocked by a zombie this turn. That's anything. You could exile a Rekindling Phoenix and not have to deal with it. I don't know. I never understood why people hated Time to Reflect as much as they said they did. And maybe people can sell me. Maybe they can say, oh, Time to Reflect is bad because of such and such. But again, this isn't a card that I've used particularly much. But I would need a PowerPoint presentation. Like, you gotta sell me on why this card is bad in a zombie deck. I don't know. Maybe because Fatal Push, but still. Fatal Push can't kill Phoenix. I mean, it kind of could if Phoenix died and then you hit the 0-1. I don't know. Trial of Solidarity. Solidarity? I think I mean Solidarity. 2 and a white. I remember this went in your right. I'm pretty sure this went in your Showdown deck. Shard up. When Trial of Solidarity enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +2/+1 and gain Vigilance until end of turn. When a cartouche enters the battlefield under your control, return Trial of Solidarity to its owner's hand. I think the card's pretty garbage, but I know that if you make a cartouche deck and you put enough creatures in it, things can happen that are fun. That being said, I'm still not a fan of this card. And I think, how could you not play Trial of Solidarity in an Exert deck? Sam Block was running that? Really? Maybe I misevaluated the card. Well, if a pro is running it, I'd like to say that I could be wrong. You guys may have proven me wrong. I am not a perfect human being. You do have to indulge me the occasional mistake. It seems as though Trial's better than I thought. No, I think you're right. If you can get it to work, yeah, just run those trials, those cartouches, and return this back. I have to look at the deck. I have not seen the Sam Black deck. And I have to go back to the games where he even played it. Like, I didn't watch that part of the stream too thoroughly. I think I was there, but I was sort of playing Arena while it was going on, so it didn't have my full attention. But yeah, I think I'm wrong. I think this card's better than I gave it credit for at face value. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go for that same deck that he went for. I'd have to have a closer look at it. It is kind of a new deck in the format. It's not something that has seen much play until this point. I think it's fair of me to say that. So if I'm a little dismissive at first, I'm sorry. It's just I haven't seen it much before. But if Sam Black is running it and he's doing a good job, then I'll have to take a look. Yeah, I haven't really seen the deck before. I don't even know many of the cards that go in it, but it's interesting. It's definitely something I'll have to think about. You don't think the deck will be good without Scrounger and Bomat? So a lot of recursion, eh? Sam Black likes his recursion, and he likes drawing more cards, and he likes dropping trials down. Okay. That's something I'll have to take a look at off stream. For now, I want to focus on talking about Pokemon and Charmander and cats and humans and True Heart Duelist, who is a 1 in a white. Human! Human, guys! Human! Let's go. True Heart can block an additional creature each combat, and it has Embalm for 3. I think it's kind of bad. I'm not seeing a human that I'm just like, wow, this is a good card, you know? There haven't been too many of them. In fact, the last one that I can think of was way up in the list. Glory Brown Initiate was the last, like, amazing human that we got. And I just don't think True Heart Duelist is that good, unfortunately. We need better humans. Unwavering Initiate, I honestly think the same thing. It's slightly better. You get a 3/2 body with Vigilance. You still get to Embalm it, but at the same time, like, these cards feel really average. That being said, Sam Black didn't make it to the top 32. Wasn't he killing it? I could be thinking about someone else, but there was someone who went 10-0 for the first 10 games, and maybe it was someone else. Maybe it wasn't Sam Black. But yeah, I saw someone who went 10-0, and I thought it was Sam Black, but maybe I was just reading the name wrong and it was someone else. I don't know. Yeah, Unwavering Initiate, not a huge fan of. Ooh, now here's a human I might get behind, but I don't know it. I haven't seen this card because I don't think it's in duels, so I'll have to reread it. Vizier of Deferment, 2 in a white, Flash. If it has Flash, I'm already pretty sweet. He went 11-4, so he was close-ish. Okay. When Vizier of Deferment enters the battlefield, you may exile target creature if it attacked or blocked this turn. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Huh. You may exile target creature if it attacked or blocked this turn. That could be your own creatures if it has a good ETB. And then it gets returned to the battlefield. So there's a couple things that this card could be good for. Oh, thanks, Shard. Yeah, I'll definitely click that later. There's a couple things this could be good for. Tokens. Any tokens that you hit with this card will not be returned to the battlefield because they're tokens. And ETB cards. You would hit your Regal Carousel with Vizier of Deferment and get 2 more cats. That being said, that's not very good for Tribal, running both humans and cats. It doesn't work as well for the cat theme as I would like. But, I think this is the best human that I've seen since Glorybound Initiate. This is the best one. If I'm to make that human deck, it's gonna need a Vizier of Deferment. And I think the conclusion I'm sort of coming to right now, and this could change, this conclusion could change with Hour of Devastation, is that we just don't have enough good humans, unfortunately, at this point in time. And maybe Dominaria can change that. Maybe if we get Kaladesh, that can change that. I really don't want them to give us Kaladesh, though. It's another topic. I don't want Kaladesh in Aether Revolt. It's just my opinion. I think that would make the meta rather stale, and it's not something I want. But yeah, hopefully Dominaria can give us some decent humans, because I think that deck has a lot of potential. Like, the power level of Radiant Destiny, if you just give us some good humans, it goes so up, you know? Radiant Destiny can effectively do exactly what we did with Always Watching in Glorybound Initiate, but better, right? Because it works with tokens as well. I really hope that we can get some more humans. I think that would be a lot of fun. And humans are a very common archetype, so... And I haven't looked at Ixalan or Rivals of Ixalan. Let's not forget that. There's humans in both of those sets that maybe are good enough. I can't think of any that come to mind, but I don't want to just count them all out just because I can't think of any. Vizier of Remedies is a human, but it just doesn't look like a good human. If one or more -1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many -1 are put on it instead. Like, I'm sorry, that's not a good human. And like the best that we've gotten has been Vizier of Deferment, and that is just okay. I don't think Vizier of Deferment is by any means good. I mean, it's okay. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but definitely not what I'm looking for either. Winged Shepherd, 5 and a white, flying, vigilance, and cycling. That's interesting, right? I don't know if this card's good. I feel like the cycling card with Embalm is better. Let's see if I can find it, because I was looking at it earlier. Yeah, this card I feel like is better, because you cycle it and then you can Embalm it later, so it still has value in the graveyard. Whereas this, you cycle it and it's just dead for good. That you need 1 white to cycle it. This you need 2 generic to cycle it. This is a 6-drop. This is a 5-drop. Both of these cards could just be bad. They could, like, maybe neither of them go in the cycling deck. I don't know. There are 7 warriors in white in HOU. So not sure what your mono white humans would look like. It could be something that is only good after Dominaria comes out, Sharda. Right now I don't see it. Based on what I'm seeing right now, I don't think it's an archetype that'll work. But once Dominaria comes around, and if we get some good humans for it, I think it has potential to be a strong tribal deck. That being said, we are going to get humans. Humans always exist in every plane of Magic, it seems. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like every plane that I've experienced has had humans in it. And that's reassuring. It's definitely a tribal type that will get help almost every set, just because there's always going to be humans that they print. But I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know how much help it's gonna get. We're gonna have to wait and see. Dusk, sorcery, destroy all creatures with power at 3 or greater. Dawn, return. I gotta turn my head sideways just to read this. Return all creature cards with power 2 or less from your graveyard to your hands. How many power 3 or less creatures are there? Or I'm sorry, power 2 or less creatures are there that we would get back, right? I mean, I guess you can get these back. There's not much. Has to be power 2 or less. You could get Sacred Cat back, assuming you haven't embalmed it already. You cannot get Regal Carousel back. You cannot get Glorybound Initiate back. You can't get Devoted Cropmate. Devoted Cropmate is a human. That's interesting. I guess you can get Bird Wizard back if you want to get your Bird Wizard game on. Anointer Priest, I don't know. I don't think this card's good. I know it was pretty good in duels, but in duels we had a lot more cards that would work with this, and in Arena, I don't think we do. Humans are the characteristic creatures for white. Yeah, they are. But going back to Dusk Till Dawn, I think the first half of it is great, but I just don't see enough targets for the second half in this current format. In duels, we had all kinds of 1 and 2 drops that you can get back. Not the same case for Arena. And I know this can seriously wreck a lot of decks if you play it, but at the same time, the second half of it isn't going to give you much value. So you'd mostly be playing it for Dusk. You wouldn't be playing it for Dawn as much. And I just don't know. This is another card where, like, maybe Dominaria can help it out, but otherwise, I kind of am not liking it that much. And yeah, that's my final verdict. How many cards did I talk about? That felt like it went by quick. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 40 cards in about an hour and 20 minutes. So if I was to review the entire set, because that took an hour and 20 minutes, it would take, let's just say, an hour 30. I just want to round to make it easier for myself. 3 hours, 4.5 hours, 6 hours. Man, having Monk with me made it a lot faster. Take me forever to read this set, and I'm doing it by myself. It's because I don't know, man. It's because I got derailed by Pokemon, I think. But no, that is gonna do it for the stream. If you want me to do 2 sets rather than one, I am open to that possibility. I don't want to do that today, but maybe tomorrow. If you want, I could go blue and black. Salt derailed you, yeah. Salt definitely derailed me. That stupid Akectra not being a cat is like, oh man. Don't get me worked up again, Shaolin. Don't do it. Don't talk about cats. A list of humans you will have when AKH drops. Oh, thank you, Shard. I'll definitely take a look at that and maybe bring it into the discussion for tomorrow. But yeah, that's about gonna do it for the stream. How many exert creatures are there? You have to look at that Scryfall website if Scryfall can give you such statistics. But yeah, that's about gonna do it. I will be streaming again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same time as today. It's probably gonna be a short-ish stream, just like this one, because I plan on reviewing one color a day. But if you guys want me to review more than one color a day, I'm open to do that. But yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, we will be talking about all of the blue cards in Amonkhet, starting with Ancient Crab. I bet you guys are really excited to hear my take on Ancient Crab. To really, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to, ruin the suspense, so to speak. But yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. First thing, when I go live, we're going to be talking about Ancient Crab, and you guys can hear my my final verdict on it, which is, I know you guys want to hear it. I know, I get it, but yeah, that's going to do it. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Hope you maybe, had your eyes opened to maybe some new things, new ideas, and yeah, take care. Thanks. Bye.